Hi, in this lesson we're going to learn our first guitar scale. We're going to do the E minor pentatonic scale. First, it sounds really good, and then second, it's very easy. And it follows a really easy to follow pattern. So basically, every time we play a string, it's going to be two notes on each string. So once you play two notes on a particular string, you'll go to the next one. So pattern-wise, works out very easily. Now with your picking on this scale, you can either do all downs, like that, or you can constantly go down and up. Either one is okay, but at the end of the day, you don't want to have to think too hard about your picking. So we start, of course, on the low E string, which is, of course, this one. It's right in front of you. So by low, I mean the pitch. This is the lowest pitch-wise string, so the one closest to you. So we play an open, simply no fingers or anything. That's the first pitch that gets played. Then you're going to take finger 3, and you're going to play fret 3 on this low E. So those are the first two notes of the scale. So when you're first learning a scale like this, especially if you're a beginner, you're going to want to play the first two notes for like a little bit, maybe 30 seconds or so, really slow. So just the open and the 3. And notice when I'm really starting to get into it, I don't feel the need to move my hand away. So that way, just very efficient. And I'm trying to, the best I can, get on the tip of my finger. Now, when that's completed, we want to go to the next string, which is the A, or the 5th string, and also play open as well. And this time, we're going to want to use our middle finger to play fret 2. And notice I'm trying to get close to the metal strip without touching it. Alrighty. So, at this point, again, especially if you're a beginner, you're going to want to put those 4 notes together. So you have open, low E, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, then open A, and then 2nd fret. And you don't need to take your hand away like that. I was just doing that so you could clearly see. But if I was realistically playing this, I wouldn't move my hand away. All right. So that way, the reason I'm using finger 3 and 2 is so I don't have to move my hand around a whole lot. Okay, so once that's feeling comfortable, you would then move on to the next string, the D, and you would also play open and then fret 2 with your middle finger, just like on the previous string. So you play the open and the 2nd fret as well. And then on the 3rd string, you actually do the same thing again. So as you can see, the pattern's pretty easy to follow. We only had so far open and 3 here, then open 2, open 2, open 2. So what we can do now is we'll just practice that much for a little bit. 3, open, 2, open, 2, open, 2, open, 3, open, 2, open, 2, open, 2. Now when we go to the B and the E, we'll do what we did down here. So on the B, open 3 and then another open 3. And that completes the scale going up. Now the notes here are E, G, A, B, D, E, G, A, B, D, E, G. You don't have to perfect that. I just wanted you to be aware of what the notes were, and later on that'll come in handy when you're trying to really learn what the notes are on your fretboard. But for now, if it's easy, just think about what the numbers are for a little bit. Okay, so really take your time, break this down into sections. So for example, let's say you're playing the scale really good, and then you do something like this. So what I did here is I played the 2nd fret instead of the 3rd fret, and you could hear how funny it sounded. So if that's the only issue I'm making, I wouldn't like keep playing the scale over and over. I would just do just this little section just to fix that one problem. That my time is much better spent focusing on the issue than trying to play the whole scale over and over. Okay, now once you're playing pretty comfortably, you're going to want to then go backwards. Now keep in mind when you go backwards, a lot of people make the mistake. They'll go something like this, where they play the open and then the fret, and that sounds good, but it's not technically going backwards in the scale. To really go backwards, you have to play the fret. Sorry, hit the wrong string. So you have to play the fret and then the open. So you're going directly backwards from what you did going up. So very slowly to go backwards, you go 3, open, 3, open. And again, you may have to practice in sections, so you might have to just sit and do this for a while really slow, and so forth. Then 2, open, 2, open, 2, open, 3, open. And then eventually you'll play up and down. That scale sounds really good, of course, on an E minor chord, which makes sense, right? E minor pentatonic, E minor chord. So a lot of times if someone's playing that E minor chord, the scale sounds really good. Okay, have fun. God bless.